Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to all. Welcome to another edition of Homie Picks. Week 13. Week 12 was pretty fun. It's me, Ben, Lou. Unfortunately, Lou is sick, so we're gonna have this one to be an expedited edition of Homie Picks this week. But other than the obvious, how are y'all doing? How was your holiday week as well?
Holiday was good, brother. Can't say no to the food. That's the best part of it. Uh, you know, it was good, a little too short for my liking. They should give us a week. But whatevs. But it was good. All in all, fun to watch football games. So at least the games were entertaining this year.
Lou, uh,
Yeah, the food wasn't worth it, man. I feel like crap.
wow, it's a Lewis on the weather. I mean, I had a I had a sick week. Lou having a sick week. Ben, it's only right for you to get sick now and
I
join
don't
us
know,
into the
man. I'm trying not to.
club. But like I said, we're gonna make this a quick hit edition. Um, First one we're gonna go to Miami at San Fran. San Fran is a 3.5 point favorite. Miami is a plus 172. Ben, how you want to see this one shaping up?
Yeah, this one's a tough one for me. I mean, they're like I like what Miami's doing, but I mean they played some good competition, but they've been faltering a little bit on the second halves. Their scoring output has come down a little bit. But going up against that San Fran defense, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take Miami on this one. Probably San Francisco wins this one, but I'm just gonna ride with Miami for this one. I feel like they have some good momentum going. They've been winning a few in a row. Tua's been playing well for them. So I'm just gonna go with the team that's been more consistent right now. San Fran's offense at least has been up and down. So you can't, you don't know if you're getting 16 points or 30 points from them. So yeah, I'll take Miami on this one. Might regret it later, but I'll take Miami.
Luke?
Yeah, I'm riding with Miami in this one too. Same fact, we don't know what San Francisco team's going to show up, and Miami's offense is crazy mean right now. I don't think there's a defense that show they can stop them when all of them are healthy and playing. So I'm gonna rock with Miami on this one.
Um, yeah, I remember last week Waddle and I had Waddle and Hill going off, and they only just had 85 freaking yards apiece and no
Yeah.
damn touchdowns. I was pretty damn tight about that. So forget Miami. I'm going with San Fran this one. I'm gonna say San Fran's defense takes care of just gets enough pressure on Tua and slows down their run game. I mean, Hill and Waddle, you really can't do much for them, but I also trust in Christian McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk. So I'm going to go with my San Fran at home for this one. Um, Lou, you had a game for us this week. What you got? I think I see the colors on you got.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with my G-Men versus the Commanders this week. I think it's a good NFC battle. Both teams are vying for a playoff push. I think the NFC is going to be the only division to get three teams in the playoffs. So this is going to be one of the games that's going to set you apart. I'm going for my G-Men on this one, just on the sheer fact that we need a W after two straight losses, and hopefully we can right the ship.
Ben.
Yeah, I actually like the Commanders here. Like we said, I feel like New York was getting so many wins, like, final possession, low scoring, not low scoring, but just like winning out by a small margin. So I thought that their win streak was gonna end at one point, and right now the Commanders are just defensively playing well. Heineke, he does enough to move the ball. Like, he's not a world beater, but he's getting them to the end zone. But I really feel like the defense is gonna give some rough time to Danny Dimes, and I think when he gets too much pressure, he becomes who he is. So I think they're gonna struggle with that. So I like Washington here.
Yeah, Washington is a 2.5 point favorite. Giants are a plus 115. This one is actually a pretty good contest. The G-men have been slowly fading away. I think they still playing hard for Dayball. They're just slowly starting to take their chips away. And it was a concern of mine coming into weeks before. I was saying, you gotta get all the momentum they got to get right now, because once that bye week hits, the G may not have that luster as before. Washington just has only gotten stronger. Actually, I think this may be the only division. If anything, maybe the AFC East too. I think the NFC East gets all four in the playoffs. To be honest, because looking at the rest of the tally off behind, Washington still leads a lot of other teams. But I don't see really a reason for the Giants to lose this one at home. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think Washington has been playing tremendous as of late. But I think maybe the Heinekens get cooled a little bit this week. I think G-Men sneak out with a win, and that should be sad to say, sneak out with a win at their own home, but I think it's going to happen. Moving to the secondary team in that stadium, but not playing in that stadium this week, of course. You got Jets at Minnesota. Minnesota is a 3.5 favorite. Jets are a plus 132. I truly think the Jets were taken advantage of, after I definitely wrote them off a little bit, with Brees, being down and such. I want to apologize to the New York Jets. Maybe insert that I'm sorry for what I've done. Clip play.
Without it, Mike White.
The legendary Mike White takes
the
flight.
Legend continues, bro.
Mike White takes flight and polish the Jets. He did what he had to do, but I like Minnesota's defense way too much, so I'm gonna say Minnesota actually takes this one at home. Lou, what you thinking?
I'm rolling with the Jets on this one, on the sheer fact that their defense. I think after Minnesota got their butts whooped by that Dallas team, with a defense that didn't stop pressuring them, I think the Jets are going to follow the same recipe and pressure. I mean, they have the front four to do it, and they have Sauce back there to cover on Jefferson. So, and I'm riding the Mike White hype train until the wheels fall off. So, I'll take the Jets.
Ben.
Yeah, I like the Jets defense as well. I like what they did with Mike White. They were moving the ball actually. A little bit more of a competent QB back there, but I have to go with Minnesota. I feel like they're the more balanced team, at least offensive wise. They can put up points. It's going to be tough against the Jets for sure, but they also have a good running game. So they have Cook back there. So I don't think they have to depend on just airing it out. So, and again, it's prime time, 1 o'clock game for Kirk. I think that's where he thrives. It'll be a bounce back game for them after getting beaten by Dallas so badly for them. So yeah, I like Mini here.
Benny boy, you have a game for us this week?
Yeah, for me, I think this probably is going to be the game of the week, which is the Bengals playing KC at Cincinnati. I believe the Cincinnati is the underdogs here, the home dogs. I like what Cincinnati's been doing. Their defense is underrated. They have a really good defense. I was watching their last game. They have a really good defense, surprisingly good. They just don't have a lot of big names back there, but they have a very stout defense. I think they're gonna give some troubles to Mahomes. And just the Chiefs secondary, it's just they really can't stop anybody. I mean, they were having trouble with Chargers, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and fortunately for them, Williams got hurt. I think if he was still in the game, it probably would have been a different story. So Jamar Chase is back. Higgins is there, big body receivers. I think it's gonna give him troubles again. Probably Chase has a big game. I like the Bengals here.
Yeah, you like the Bengals. I mean, KC's been rolling as of late. You know, Mixon was down, and Bengals still were still racking them up last week. I definitely another team that I slept on last week, but I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. I mean, this can easily be an AFC Championship game matchup right here. But it's hard to pick. Every time I pick against Pat Mahomes, he seems to find a freaking way to somehow win a damn game. He did it against the Raiders. He did it against the Chargers. He did against the Chargers last week. And now if I pick the damn Bengals, he might do the same thing again. So I'm not even going to do it to myself. Because of this, man, I have lost many weeks. I'm not 6% like Ben is. So you know what? I'm going to go to KC. I'm going to say KC 2.5 points. Yeah, KC's 2.5. Cincinnati is 112. It's a good group, but I ain't going for that. I'm going for KC. Luke.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the KC train as well. I mean, Mahomes has just found a way to win and win without. He's been the anti-Aaron Rodgers. Lost his number one receiver and still out there balling. So until he proves it otherwise, I think you got to pick KC here. I love what Cincinnati's doing, though. I mean, they're one of the teams that you don't want to play right now, just on the sheer fact that their defense can keep them in games. But the offensive line worries me about keeping Joe Burrow upright. I think they get Jamar Chase back this game as well. So another weapon out there, as well as Joe Mixon should be coming back as well. Yeah. So they'll be at full strength. But this is going to be one of the heavyweight fights where I'm not even going to be mad if I lose this one. I'm going to rock with KC, though.
Yeah. This is going to be a good game. It's probably a revenge game for KC. I'll probably bite it later, but I don't know. If the Bengals can pull off some impressive wins without their number one and losing their running back, I think they have a shot. So I like the home dogs.
If they can do what I can't do and actually predict the win, against KC, go with Godspeed. I think the other game of the week is the last game we're going to cover, which is actually tonight's game. Buffalo at New England. The third New York team, the true New York team. Buffalo is -4. Is a 4-point favorite. New England is a +158. I love rivalry matchups. I love divisional matchups. So Ben, how you see this one going out?
This one is tough for me because I wanted the Bills to, win Super Bowl and all that, but they're sputtering a lot right now. Particularly offensive. Josh Allen hasn't been as crisp as he has been in the past. He's been making more mistakes, and Pats still have a really good defense. I don't know. My guess is probably Buffalo wins by 3, but I think New England covers. But I think I might take the Patriots on this one, to be quite honest. I feel like that defense is going to give them some trouble. It probably is not going to be a high-scoring game like most people would think, at least from the Bills side. I think they're going to struggle moving the ball against that defense. It's a short week. I don't know. I'm going to lean Patriots. I'll probably regret it later, but I feel like their defense is playing well. And just right now, Buffalo's just, I think they need to reset the offense a little bit, just get back a little bit to some basic throws for Allen, because sometimes he just falls out of whack and then he just starts to push and he makes bad turnovers. If he makes one of those, I think New England's defense scores. So yeah, I'll go with Pats.
Luke.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills on this one. I don't even see this as a rivalry anymore. The Patriots aren't the same Patriots. Great Thursday night game, finally on the slate. But I think Allen's gonna get himself in order, get it right. he has to refine that connection. I mean, they got Nakeem Himes from Indianapolis, who's been underutilized. Get him more involved in the passing game and to open up the running game. So I hope they go back to that. And I think Buffalo's this is where they start to make that separation in the division with the Jets clamoring at the heels is when they start pulling away. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. Yeah, it's no longer a rivalry for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Buffalo as well for this one. I think as much as Josh has definitely not looked the same, and Josh has, I know he's been banged up, lately and stuff. He got a little hurt against in the Minnesota game. Well, actually, no, the Jet game he got hurt. In that one, he's been kind of like not the same since. I don't think Buffalo took the Jets seriously, but seeing that, I think Buffalo needs to pay attention to those records a lot more closely, because they're not the same Jets. They're not the same pass even of last year. The pass last year were kind of trash. I think Thursday night in New England, you kind of play. You got to play to your division, matchups a lot stronger. And I think you got to take them seriously. So I'm thinking Buffalo is going to take New England seriously and try to put themselves back on the map and show why they are, why they were Super Bowl favorites coming into this year. Anytime touchdown scores. I'm going to cheat first. I'm going to say Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry?
In case y'all going to take mine, I'm going to say Derrick Henry against Philadelphia.
That's good.
That's going to be another good game, too. Ben, what you thinking?
I like Swift out of Detroit. They're playing Jacksonville at Detroit. They tend to play better in Detroit, so I can see Swift getting a touchdown. He's been running the ball well. He's been getting some good touches. He's gotten to the end zone a couple of times the last couple of weeks, so I like Swift.
Okay. Luke?
I'll go with Deshaun Watson.
I was thinking that.
I don't know, man. How long he's been? He hasn't been playing for like a year and a half.
Don't matter.
It's gonna matter. It's gonna matter.
I like it. Fantasy stunts.
Ooh, I have to go with Joe Burrow here. I think he's gonna have a good day. Like I said, KC struggles with the passing game, and that's their best attribute for Cincy is the pass. So Jamar Chase is back. Between them two, you can pick either or, but I feel like Burrow's gonna have a good game, probably 3 touchdowns.
Okay. Luke?
I'm gonna go with CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
Against the Colts. It's a good matchup for him. I think he lights it up.
I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. Why not? Mark Andrews against Denver. Denver can't score for shit. So I think after last week's, and that's actually a good segue for between Lou's in-time touchdown scorer and Mark Andrews. I think it's a good segue to just 2 quick hits I want to get into. A week ago, we talked about it. It was one more week. And now we get to that week. Deshaun Watson returns back to football, and by the grace of the football gods, it is against his former team, the Houston Texans. How do we feel about Deshaun coming back? And I know Lou thinks he's going to score, but how do you think his impact is going to be?
Well, I think it'd be good for the team. I mean, they need to right that ship as well over there in Cleveland. Jacoby Brissett did a decent job of holding the waters. And I think he did his time. He paid his grievances. A year and a half out of football. He lost pay this year, although it isn't much. It isn't much. So he paid his dividends. He atoned for his crimes. He said he didn't do it or not. But I think we need to get over that and just get back to playing football. Little messed up that those girls are going to be in the stands watching it play. So, yeah. little wrong.
Whether they got paid to be there or not. Ben?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I feel like he got off a little light on the suspension, to be quite honest. I think he should have gotten the year suspension because the year before he wasn't suspended. It's just that they chose not to play him because
Right.
of the whole he wanted out. So I feel like he should have gotten the year suspension for, I mean, it was a lot of stuff he did. Way too many, you know. Um, but that being said, he's back, you know, whatever it is, what it is. He's going against his former team. So definitely is a kind of a revenge game for him. But for me, just he's been out of, you know, having played for a year and a half back in his first game. I think the rest is going to show. He's going to probably make some mistakes. It's definitely still going to be an upgrade over Brissett. I mean, Brissett, he's a nice quarterback, but, you know, he's just a backup. He's just a really good backup quarterback. Deshaun is a special player. When he plays, you know, he can make crazy plays. I just don't see that happening this game. Maybe some flashes here and there, but nothing consistent. Just because he's just been out for it. Maybe towards the end of the season, maybe 2 or 3 games in, he'll start to play a little bit more like he was. I just don't see him walking back in year and a half and just lighting it up all over again. At least just not yet.
For me, the NFL is not a league of morality. I need people to remember this. The NFL, fuck it. All sports organizations are not places of morality. You know, how we feel about, you know, did he do it or did he not do it? He's maintained that he may have done nothing wrong, but he's still paying for things. That's not here nor there. In terms of, it's like anybody else who served the crime and committed this stuff and went, you know, got locked up and came out, they served their time. Whether we feel how you feel, maybe if people don't like it or not, that may you gotta take that up with the court. But
Yeah.
you know, in terms of what football standards, Deshaun Watson brings a lot to the table. Just Jacoby Brissett, just like Tyler Huntley, for last year for the Ravens, you know, you're a good backup quarterbacks. You served your time. Your time is up. So
Hit that bench.
Deshaun Watson is here. He has a really good run game, but you know, a two-headed horse, you know, with Chubb and oh my god, what's my other guy name? And Hunt. You know, you got two running back core with that. You got some nice things, you know, for wideouts, and you just bring Deshaun to the game. It's gonna do some nice flashes. As a Ravens fan, I wish he was out for the year too, but you know, but the Ravens also had a good record against Deshaun Watson as well. So, and that's when they had D Hop and Deshaun Watson, we had a good record against them. So I don't know, but you know, I mean, I think it's good to see him back. You know, at least for NFL viewership and such on that one. Last quick hit I want to get into, which is the Ravens debacle. It's a two-headed horse on this one. Yeah, I know. I see you laugh on that one. So since you laugh, I'm gonna go to the other side of this coin now. And Lamar Jackson's slur, which has been I don't even really say that's even a slur. To say E to D, to me, it's never been a slur. I don't know who makes these rules now about what is or what's not, but it was in result. It was to a tweet with somebody talking about Lamar want to get paid $250 million. How you gonna let Justin Tucker be? You know, how highlight games come down to Justin Tucker, and he said, you know, a lot of other things. Shut up, E to D. And then out of nowhere, people said I'm like, how? That's if he said you were X, Y, and Z, then yes, that's a slur.
Right.
But he just said a general term. I don't get 2022. But
I didn't catch that one, to be quite honest. What was
it's there.
I got deleted, but it's floating around out there.
Yeah, it's floating around.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
I'll send you it too if you need to. But since I do have to get into the other side of this one, which is the real reason why we need to bring this thing up. The Ravens just can't seem to hold a damn lead. And
the good news is y'all played Denver this week.
That does not give me faith still. My team is not that great when it comes to certain leads. I don't get it. I mean, other than Buffalo, which was the second quarter, I mean, at halftime up 20-3. Miami, 35-14 against Miami with 12 minutes to go in the fourth. Blew that. At halftime against the Bills, 20-3. Blew that. 20-10 against the Giants. 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Blew that. And now last week against the lovely Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, everybody gushes all over Trevor Lawrence's hair, his flowing locks. Clearly, we must have been looking at his hair too much. Bro. We were looking at his hair because 19-10 with 5 minutes and 59 seconds left to go. Blew that. I thought they got over these things. They have not got over these things. I'm gonna just go on a limb and say, whoever, it's funny because against the Giants, Wink Martindale is your coordinator, right? Which is our coordinator. He must have said, "Look, these guys can't hold shit. You can go against them." But everybody else seems to figure them out too. It feels like we just can't hold leads. I mean, and I remember I was listening to it. But the game against New England, we almost blew that. The only reason why we didn't blow that is because Mac Jones kept throwing interceptions. Thank God. But other than that, this has not been the year for holding on to leads, and this it has not been a good year defensively for the Ravens. Even though nice things have happened, it's not been a good year. What's your statements on the Ravens?
I saw the tweet. Yeah, I don't see what was that bad about it, but whatever.
Thank you. Exactly. I don't see what bad was about it.
Yeah, I mean, people say that all the time. Like, it's not directed specifically as a certain way. It's just a term. Anyways, it's very. I'm surprised. Maybe they'll fire the defensive coordinator at the end of the year because I mean, you can't blame Lamar for the defense. I mean, because that's really falls on the defense. Fourth quarter, they're collapsing, and I've seen that on my team last year. We had a lot of fourth quarter collapses, and it really comes down to that. It's just sometimes the schemes that these defensive coordinators just stick to, and they don't adjust, and the other teams do adjust. I can't blame Lamar. These things happen from year to year. I mean, sometimes you can't explain it what it is, and I think it just bit them. I mean, you guys can't hold the lead. My team can't score. Like, our defense keeps us in most games, but we can't score the ball. It's just horrible, like how bad our offense has gotten. So yeah, I say it's a defense thing, probably more of a coordinator's issue, but I can't blame Lamar on it. I mean, he's doing his side of the bargain. You know what I'm saying? They're putting up points. They're actually leading into the fourth. Unless he's out there playing linebacker, I can't blame him.
So yeah, the tweet is redundant. It's people looking for just that 15 minutes of clout. He ain't say nothing wrong. I mean, telling somebody to eat a D is gender neutral. You can say that to your grandma, your mama, like everyone can get that equally. Like, it don't matter who you are. So that's what I gotta say. That and for me, I think as you know, we were talking about it offline about how he's struggling. I think he's suffering from the same thing Aaron Rodgers is suffering when they don't get him enough weapons. He hasn't had a running game since I don't know when.
It's him.
Since him. They traded away his go-to wide receiver he had last year, traded away for peanuts, didn't get anything back for that. So like, how much can you put on Lamar Jackson? And part of me thinking this as a businessman is if I don't want to pay a guy, what can I do to suppress that a little bit? Let's not give him weapons. Let's give him a subpar defense. Let's make some suspect calls. I start thinking of it that way. Because the way this game is built, you see what happened when Aaron Rodgers was getting paid and didn't get him any weapons. Now they're stuck in no man's land. Like, they can't keep him, they can't get rid of him for nothing. and they can't get any help. So I think Baltimore's going to have a real tough decision to make this offseason when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Do you pay him? Because with paying him, now you got to find ways to get him help. You can't just pay him and say, well, do the same thing you've been doing with less.
Yeah.
So it really could come down to like, hey, if they get him the help he needs, I think Baltimore could have been a great team this year. Get him a running back. Kareem Hunt was begging to leave Cleveland. Begging.
Mm-hmm.
You had wide receivers on the Jets begging to leave. Mm-hmm. I know Jared will take Denzel Mims and the other guy. Bring them. Because Lamar Jackson would have made them that much better. So they have to make moves to get him better. They can't rely on the same Lamar. He's getting older. He's not going to give you, 150 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns with his legs. He wants to show people he can do with his arm. And until they get that help, they're going to be on this hamster wheel. So, yeah, get the man some help. Don't let him become Aaron Rodgers. We've seen too many good quarterbacks fall that way, where they don't get help and they get stuck in no man's land.
How do you feel about that, Jared?
No,
Them giving him the big bucks.
Well, that it's funny. Lou made a good point to that. Contract negotiation goes 2 ways. So Lamar made his stance. The ownership and stuff could have made their stance on it too by saying, "Well, we ain't gonna give you any help. Let's see what you can do out there without all this help." Rashad Bateman was good in the first 2 weeks, then he got hurt. Duvernay did some nice things in the first couple of weeks. Then he took a step back. And then plus you're using him, to do punt returns and kick returns. And so he's multifunctional, kind of in that Jacoby Jones role, where I think, to me, if you're doing everything, special teams and try to be a number 2 wide out, you're going to be, I think it's a lot to ask for anybody. Means, like I said, many people have done it. A lot of people have done it, but I just think it's a lot to ask for anybody to do that, because you're constantly out there running and trying to make plays and stuff like that. You can't just give Mark Andrews and let Mark Andrews be the only damn weapon you got. Everybody knows who you're going to throw to. Everybody says, I remember the talk was, you don't want to go to Lamar because no wideout wants to go to Baltimore. You never see any wideout want to go to Baltimore because they all know Lamar can't throw. And I'm like, you won't see Lamar's numbers. Lamar can throw. Lamar can hit people on a dime, but his ownership is not getting those players. I mean, I can't ask for Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham does nice things in spurts, but hell, Odell is hurt all the damn time. I can't ask for Odell as a free agent come to Baltimore, and then when he gets to Baltimore, he makes nice spectacular plays, but then the man gets hurt halfway through a freaking playoff game. It's not going to work out like that. Yeah. When we had Des Bryant last year, he came in there, he made things a little bit better. We fed him the ball, got him a touchdown and such. So people get fed by Lamar. They just overlook him and still have him in this context as a running quarterback or a runner first. And Lamar has made decisions where he wanted to throw first. And you see that he's made progressions to not just run out for, and just bail on the play. He needs help. I just flat out as that. But I think like anybody else said, it's negotiation goes a couple ways. So this may be ownership's way of saying, we'll earn it. And it's kind of hard to say earn it when you don't have the players to earn it with.
Well, you have to be realistic. If they give him a big bag, he's gonna have to play that way because they can't give him pieces. And that's the hard balance to strike with these huge deals with the quarterbacks. Is like, if you pay him money like they did in Green Bay, he got all the money he could get. But look at them now. They're trying to find low weapon receivers out of the draft, and that takes time to develop and whatnot. And I think the other thing is that Baltimore is just most people feel Baltimore is a run first type team. Their running backs have been hurt for the past 2 years.
You have no running backs.
the running backs have been hurt for the past 2 years, basically.
J.K. Dobbins out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gus Edwards.
Yeah, so they can't do really how they established their offense. Really, they're relying on the throwing of Lamar more this year and actually last year, but Yeah, I agree with you. Like if they get an Odell Beckham, he's just gonna be there with Bateman eventually. So that's not gonna help. I think just I feel like if Lamar gets guaranteed money, I think it'll be fine because then they can work that out cap wise differently, and then they won't be so strapped getting him weapons. But I'll be hesitant to give him that big payday though.
So, well, we'll see what happens. Everybody wants the Pat Mahomes syndrome. He loses his thing, but everybody eats on their team. That's them. What we do is here is different. I say get everybody to get a different coordinator. I don't know, find something new. But that's all our time we got for this week. Like, share, subscribe. Love everybody. Do not tell your grandma to eat a D.
No, don't do
it. Until next week, move, feel better. We'll come back next week for another one. Enjoy week 13. Peace.